Donald Trump says he's received a letter from prosecutors suggesting that he is likely to be criminally indicted over the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. It was not immediately clear what charges Trump may face. A target letter does not always result in an indictment. Trump is accused of making efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Panel members believe he encouraged his supporters to come to Washington and cause havoc. They also say the former president deliberately attempted to stop the process by instigating a mob to storm the U.S. Capitol. South Africa's key opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has filed an application in the court seeking Russian President Vladimir Putin's arrest if he plans to attend the BRICS summit next month in Johannesburg. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has filed an affidavit in response to this application. He says that arresting Putin will be quote-unquote reckless, unconstitutional and an unlawful exercise. President Ramaphosa added that it would also be a declaration of war on Moscow. Remember, South Africa is obligated to arrest Putin as per international law. US President Joe Biden met with his Israeli counterpart Isaac Herzog at the White House on Tuesday. Biden highlighted the close ties between the two nations, but concerns were raised over Israel's controversial judicial reforms as well as ongoing settlement construction in the West Bank. President Herzog emphasized that despite the debate over judicial reforms, Israeli democracy is strong and resilient. In a separate meeting, Herzog also met U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Blinken stressed Washington's commitment to Israel's security. With elections in India just 8 months away, the ruling NDA has expanded its alliance with 39 partners and 26 opposition parties have united under a new name, INDIA, or India. It's an innovative acronym for Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. Prime Minister Modi says alliances have been part of our political history, but negative alliances have not worked in India. He also added that for his own party's National Democratic Alliance, coalition is not a symbol of compulsion, but a symbol of contribution. Fresh clashes broke out in Dhaka as activists from the main opposition party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, demanded the resignation of the ruling government. The incident reported 1 death and 50 injuries. Supporters of the BNP clashed with ruling party's student wing, Bangladesh Chhatra League, in the capital city, Dhaka. The clashes came as the BNP and its allies launched a nationwide march as part of the opposition party's one-point movement centering the next general election in 2024. North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles eastward from the Sunan area in Pyongyang just hours after an American nuclear-armed submarine made its first South Korean port call in 4 decades. The Japanese Defense Ministry estimates that both the missiles have fallen outside Japan's exclusive economic zone east of the Korean peninsula. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff condemned what it called grave provocative acts. It said that there is a clear violation of UN Security Council resolutions. In its first meeting on artificial intelligence, the UN Security Council discussed the potential risks involved in the usage and implementation of the AI. Both United States and China expressed concerns, with China saying the technology should not become a runaway horse and that the United States warning against its use to censor or repress people. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called out the technology for its potential risks and benefits. Guterres has also highlighted how UN has an opportunity to set globally agreed upon rules for the road for monitoring and regulating. He called for a new international body to help govern the use of AI. Scuffle between the Israeli police and demonstrators was reported in Jerusalem as protesters observed a day of national resistance in Israel against judicial reform bill. A retired Israeli Air Force general said 161 of the Corps' reserve officers had vowed not to report to duty. The officers, with ranks ranging from major to brigadier general, notified the military of their decision over the last 3 days and that would publish a joint statement with names redacted. At least 14 people died in a landslide in Colombia after heavy rain led to a stream bursting its banks, which came down on the village of Al Naranjal. According to local reports, 6 people are injured. More than 20 residences have been destroyed, and key bridges that connects the south of the country to the capital, that's collapsed as well. Heritage and historical sites in China are under the direct threat of climate change. Torrential rainfall in China's Dunhuan and Zhangye has endangered UNESCO-listed World Heritage sites. Cave monasteries dating back to the 4th century have already been damaged. Rainwater leaks and soaring temperatures Soaring humidity here has defaced ancient cave paintings. Damage has also been reported in famous Magao caves. In fact, some caves have completely collapsed because of the heavy downpour. As Europe bakes again in near record temperatures, organizers of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games are paying attention to long-term weather models. Where France has escaped the worst of the blazing temperatures so far, the World Meteorological Organization said that the heat wave has engulfed the northern hemisphere and is set to intensify. Next year's Olympic Games will be held in Paris between the 26th of July to the 11th of August, though some events might take place further from the capital. Net zero ambitions are at risk in England as the government fails to meet over 50% of its annual tree planting target. The Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs aim to plant 30,000 hectares of woodland by March 2025. But a report by the Environmental Audit Committee found that this target cannot be met. A report also says that the public sector is responsible for only a quarter of the UK woodland and that there is a lack of direction in the private sector. According to Counterpoint Research, India overtook Germany and France for iPhone sales in the June quarter and is now behind the UK, Japan, China and the United States as the 5th largest market for the iPhone. India contributed close to 4% of all iPhone sales in the second quarter. According to the research firm, the firm was not able to disclose the exact number of iPhone sales but said that they grew 50% year-on-year. The rapid growth in India comes as Apple ramps up its presence in India from a retail and a manufacturing perspective. A California state court's jury said Johnson & Johnson must pay $18.8 million to California man who said he developed cancer from exposure to its baby powder. The jury ruling is a setback for the company as it seeks to settle thousands of similar cases over its talc-based products in U.S. bankruptcy court. Tens of thousands of plaintiffs have sued Johnson & Johnson, alleging that its baby powder and other talc products sometimes contained asbestos and caused ovarian cancer. In a stunning turn of events, the Australian Securities and Investments Commission has made a bold move by cancelling the license of FTX Australia, the local arm of the once thriving US cryptocurrency exchange. This decision comes amid a global wave of regulatory scrutiny that has left the industry reeling. FTX, once valued at a staggering $32 billion, has been grappling with bankruptcy and the inability to repay its customers. Founder Sam Bankman-Fried finds himself in the crosshairs of a criminal lawsuit by the US government, vehemently denying allegations of fraud. The Biden administration has announced a cybersecurity warning label for electronic devices. The US Cyber Trust Mark will inform users whether the electronic device that they are going to purchase meets the government's set cybersecurity standards or not. A nationwide cybersecurity certification program will determine products that are less vulnerable to hacking. Consumers feel more confident when they invest in an electronic product that is safe. Foxconn has bought equipment worth $33 million from an Apple unit for its India expansion. An Indian subsidiary of the Taiwanese company, Foxconn acquired equipment from Apple for operational needs. India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, expressed earlier this year that Apple wanted to manufacture 25% of the new iPhones in India. Foxconn is now planning to build a new plant in the southern Indian state of Karnataka by investing around $700 million. German company Lilium tested its vertical takeoff flying taxi in southern Spain. The Lilium jet is billed as the first all-electric vehicle takeoff and landing jet. It looks set to bring electric air mobility to a number of countries in the coming years, including China, Italy and Switzerland. One analyst says flying taxis could be a reality for the average person by 2030, but that all depends on the consumer demand, of course. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.